Now, one great addition to a workshop is a miter saw stand, and I really like this one. First, it uses the cleat system, so I can move it at any time and it's exceptionally stable. And secondly, when I'm done using the miter saw, I can just take these two support arms and lay the table flat against the wall when it's not in use. It's a great project. Let me show you how to make one. Beginning this project calls for moving to the table saw. I'll first cut the saw platform, which is M, and then the saw supports, which are R, out of 3/4 inch Baltic birch. All the rest of the parts are made out of maple, and those are N, O, P, and Q. The nice part about these parts is that they're relatively small. You don't have to use just one big piece of maple. You could actually cut them from scrap. Once all the pieces are cut to size, it's time to get to the assembly table and start putting pieces together. First, I glue up the hinge blocks so that they're 1.5 inches thick, clamping them so that the ends and edges are aligned. Then, I set them aside to let the glue dry. I'm drilling 2 1/4 inch holes at the ends of the platform arms, marked N. I've backed these up with a piece of solid wood to keep blowout from happening, and I'm using a brad point bit with a bit of tape on it to let me know how deep to drill. Now that the glue is dry on the hinge blocks, those are part P, I'm drilling 1/4 inch holes in them as well. On N, near the 3/4 inch hole, I've just used a large washer to lay out a 3/4 inch radius. On the opposite end of N, and on the bottom end of P, I used a roll of tape to provide 1 3/4 inch radius. To attach the platform arms to the saw platform, I used glue and then reinforced those with number 8 by 1 1/4 inch screws. They're pre-drilled and driven home. Now, to put this back support system in place, it involves gluing and screwing O to Q and then finally P. Well, the problem is this has to be square. And when I took my framing square and tried to lay it out against this, I couldn't quite get it onto one edge and then the other. There's no way for me to work it out. So here's what I did. I took my framing square and I first just drew a line as far as the square would go across this way and down that way. And then I measured from here to here, and that's 27 inches, and that's what the cleat is. And then flipped my square and finished that edge. So now I know I've got a perfect 2 square corners. Taking my O's like this and making sure that they wind up exactly where they belong on either side. Set the Q's. And as long as my layout matches the lines I put in there, I know it's perfect. And measuring from this corner to this one, and this one to this one, gives me a perfect 32 inches. So I know that as long as my diagonals are the same, this is square. This is a great way to put this together. Now let's glue it up. Now, after assuring my pieces would be square, I glued O to Q. And I let that joint sit for a second so the glue could firm up. And finally, I put 2 screws in each corner of that assembly. After the glue set a bit, so I knew it wouldn't move, I turned the O-P connections over. And finally, I attached O to P, and then clamping it. And finally, turn that assembly over and put 2 2-inch screws in each one. That completes the wall support assembly. So now it's time to make the saw supports, R. There are 2 of them, and the easiest way to do that is with a template. So I've used 1/4 inch tempered hardboard, and I've scribed out the markings on that hardboard. Drilled holes in each one of the corners, and then used a jigsaw to in effect connect the dots. I'll then use a file and a rasp to make those lines perfectly straight and smooth. Now taking that template, I'll transfer those lines to our parts R, and those are 3/4 inch Baltic birch. I'll follow the same process in cutting the openings, a drill in each one of the corners, and then finally a jigsaw to cut those lines up. It's important to stay wide of those lines because we'll come back with a router to clean them up. When it comes to cutting a piano hinge, you have a couple of options. One is a standard hacksaw, and the other one is putting a metal cutting blade in a jigsaw, and I prefer the jigsaw. So I've marked these off at 15 inches and cut through both edges, and I have now 2 perfect 15-inch piano hinges. Now we're attaching the hinges to both of those supports. As I attach these hinges, I'm using a self-centering bit, and I want to make sure that the center of that barrel hangs right on the edge of each one of those supports. To bolt the platform to the hinge blocks, I inverted the platform on my workbench, and I'm using 2 1/4 by 2.5 inch long bolts through the pre-drilled holes and then securing them with nuts on either side. Now, using the same inverted position, I can attach the support arms by screwing through the hinges into the side of part O. Lastly, I attached the miter saw to the stand. To do that, I used 4 washers and 4 number 8 by 1.5 inch screws. These 4 screws keep that miter saw from moving during use and also provide a very secure way to hold it when the bench is stored. So here you have it, a very nice miter saw stand, strong and sturdy for use and compact when folded. And you can see with the miter saw mounted on here, it's exceptionally versatile and very strong. The nice part is, depending upon the make of your miter saw, you may want to alter its height so it's even with the workbench. You'll have a great side table if you do that. And remember, because it's modular, this can work on left or right. This dual will work really well in your shop. You'll use it all the time.